What's funny is we launched this meeting so that I could kind of feel everybody's frustrations and so forth. And I challenged my dear friend Pedro to give me an idea of what I'm going to hear, because I've heard some stuff so that I can kind of be prepared. First question says, Mr. Ryan, when is the pool going to be done? I said, you know, I do know. And George, I'd like to go back to the drawing board, because here I got to define what done is. Is it not, George? Hold on.
That's what I'm going to do.
What's your name? Tom? Paul. Okay, sorry. Yes, here's my hope, is that by the end of March, we'll be out of the nasty demo and scaffolding stage, nasty demo and carpentry phase. Really not. If you walk out there now, we're close to all the carpentry being done on one half. And I can now start the waterproofing, then I start the stucco and stone. So in less than a month, I hope to start seeing stucco and stone going on in there. And then I'm going to say roughly April, end of April, we'll be pulling the scaffolding out. And then we got to talk about how we might be able to provide access. And here's the problem. Management has wanted to do the gunite or the resurfacing of the pool. And we all decided concurrently with everything we have going in there, it's impossible. There is so much activity in there. So when we start to go away, then we need to resurface the pool, which shouldn't take too long. So I can see it bleeding into May or June. In order to get all the stuff out.
I think you guys do a great job of fencing, and you could easily fence that pool and just let the people who really actually want to swim to use the pool. Because when they built this place, we didn't have a pool.
Right.
It didn't happen, what, 6 months later? And they had, building 9 wasn't even halfway down. And they had tarps going all the way up. The problem was that you hit the nail to be able to hit the tarp and then be able to go into the pool.
Yeah.
So you don't have that.
No, I don't think we're going to have that problem. So let me do this. Let me go back. But what I'm not prepared, what I should be prepared, but I'm not prepared to say, my mind is driven by the end of the time, the schedule, everything. Okay, now you have an intricate details to when we might be able to use the space concurrently with ongoing maybe construction operations. For example, I could see us getting out of the pool area.
March the 15th?
No.
Well, you said you're going to get out by March 31st.
No, with the demolition and carpentry phases, which is the biggest, nastiest phase. Then we do the waterproofing, then we do the stucco, then we do the stone. So I see that being end of April, but let's try to target pulling the half of the pool out. So after that, what I have to do is I got to come in with this, we've got this boom lift that's very unique that we're going to have to manage. I'm going to have to take a couple pilasters out of your pool area, bring that in, so I can get a man up 50 feet in the air to do the window banding and to do all the painting. So what we might be able to do, depending on how we do that, is open up the pool area temporarily, and then when we need that week and a half or 2 weeks to come in and do that, we might have to close it again. But I respect, believe me, you're the author of the original idea, which is brilliant, that we started there, and unfortunately it's just, it's not half, it's at least a quarter of the project in there. So we're making good progress. Wish it was better, but let me get back to you, and I'll try to write management and so they can forward it to you of what we can do. I just want to think of the logistics, how we balance those two interests, and I'm willing to do that. Okay? We don't have a lot of parking around 9. 9 is a complicated, which worries me, and I'll just throw this out there. What worries me is as soon as we're out of this interior, we're bringing scaffolding to this side, and this side. And you might say, well, why don't you just do one side at a time? Well, if we do that, this thing drags out forever, and we don't meet your guidelines for timely delivery, liquidated damages, and all that. When we do that, and we have scaffolding on these 3 sides, I just, right now there's been a lot of complaints because we've taken 6 spots on the north side of Building 9 for our staging area. When we scaffold everything, I'm not going to be able, in some of these faces that are real close proximity to the cars, Josh has been my worst enemy on parking issues, and to his credit, he's kept us in check all the time as to limiting. I mean, right now, I can tell you this entire property with all these, now short of what you're talking about, okay, we can fix that. But I think we're only consuming, don't quote me, but we're only consuming maybe 15 spots, which I know is a lot, maybe more just for our city. We gotta have a staging area in close proximity to the work areas. And we've got 18 balcony stacks inside the pool area that we're servicing from 6 parking spots. That's the only place we can get in. You know, we would like to have it on all sides and going in, but that's not reasonable. So I can tell you this from the bottom of my heart, we're doing as much as we can to make sure we limit what we take. This kind of thing we could definitely fix, like miscellaneous tools and trucks just parking willy-nilly. That's not. No, I trust you. I trust you. We're not perfect, I can assure you. So we'll get on that and fix it. We'll have another team meeting. But I am a little worried about how we're going to do the outside faces tonight and coordinate that with parking, because it's going to be a challenge. I don't want anybody out yet, or we're all good. I want to tell you guys have been awesome. I really know this is inconvenient. Believe it or not, we do worry about it, but as soon as you get through this demolition and partner phase, it's the nastiest phase. And hopefully it'll be. Yeah, we're trying. The other thing, by the way, you were so good at getting into the questions that I didn't even go on the next slide. But kind of talked about timelines. I gave a whole group of things that we could talk about, most of which you did. Parking, I think we talked about that. Construction personnel conduct. I haven't heard the first complaint, which does please me, about our personnel, and I'm not sure that that's going to last forever. So, you know, let us know, let Brandon know, but our folks are they should always be.
Tell them not to fight. But they are really nice.
No, that's my latest adventure. But, we have upwards of 50 people. They should always be vested. They should be having their hard hats on. They should be. We talk about it. If you come to our office, we got boards that, this is your home. They understand it's your home. I want them to watch the language. I want them to watch their conduct. And hopefully they're doing well so far, but by God, if they're not, do not hesitate to call the front office and let me know, please. And I don't know how you're going to identify them. We're trying to come up with a system which each.
All they got the numbers in the
We're
back
trying to put
side.
numbers on the helmets, so if someone does something to offend you, you can talk about number 77, that way we'll be able to identify who it is.
That's my number.
But we have had cleanup issues, we had cigarette butt issues. What our guys are doing is they're putting a ribbon around the face of the building. And there's been some conflict. Some tenants have said, look, I want to walk out here and so forth. And it's a juggling act for us because we've got safety related matters. In construction, there are the two of the most significant safety related, I hate to say it, the highest fatality rate in construction is falls. Okay, number one, it's like almost 40%, 36 to 40% of all fatalities in construction are falls. I'll tell you another fun fact. The average height of fatality falls is less than 6 feet. Bizarre. I guess because people get mostly they're on a little board and they're 2 ladders, they do dumb things at 6 feet, they're bolted. But I'll tell you, if you fall the wrong way at 6 feet, it hurts. Second most significant or the cause of fatalities is hit with one eye. So we have it all. We have the scaffolding, it's very serious, and then we're tearing everything off, and we have drop zones. We have the spot before you drop rule. We talk about it every time because these guys are busy and they're not looking, and someone's going to get a tool. And I tell you, a 3x3 sheet of stucco with stone is very heavy. It's like 40 pounds. It's coming down. You're hearing that a lot. In some cases, we're throwing it in the trash bins. It's very obnoxious and loud. So we have all that exposure. So anyway, that's clean. Go ahead.
When are they required to wear their safety harnesses?
Yeah, the safety, OSHA requires, when we're constructing the scaffolding, in every level we have what's
Because I've
called.
seen some people wear them and then some
Yeah, when
not.
you're constructing the scaffolding, you have what's called the leading edge. So everything you're constructing is an open edge. There's no
Right.
rails, no system. Once we complete the scaffolding system, which should be, completion means it's, of course, tied off to the building. Every 20 feet we tie into the frame. And it really does stabilize the scaffolding. We have our ladders on, we have our spring-loaded gates. We have our toe kicks at the base, and we have the crossbars. And then we have, like on the other leading edge against your balcony, we don't have to have the knee kicks, but I put them on there anyway. Once that's done, they can work on the platform without it, technically. So if OSHA came by, it's fine. So you'll see them with scaffolding, tying off when they're constructing, because everything's under construction and it's a leading edge, it's dangerous. But they're always tied off, and it's ironic, they'll tie off to the scaffolding, and then you'll see these little red plates we screw to the face of the building, they'll tie off to that as well. And then when they're done with all that, and everything's constructed, they can throw that thing in. Unless you're on paper screw, which makes you that. So, but yeah, but anyway, cleanup has been a pretty reoccurring, a lot of times we get a lot of debris down, and then we have, on the backside, we have labor that's coming and collecting it, bringing it to a bin, and it's a nasty phase. It's the demolition phase, and then you get problems. I think we got a recent complaint that, I think it was on Saturday.
15, 16.
15, 16, we had a lot of debris, and it's hanging out there, and my guys are in a demo mode.
You guys have had it in our pond. You guys have had debris in our pond. The retention pond 515 also. You guys have had plywood.
We're just completely blowing it on 15, it sounds like, so. I look into that, yeah, those guys, we'll get them